decide your model and how you can go on tuning your model slowly, starting from an exponential growth to a logistic growth to terms with constant harvesting or terms with proportional harvesting. You can change, you can think of different problems in the same aspect and you can write down your equations based on that. Okay. So in the last class, we described more about the model formulation part of it. We'll come back to it once we go on to a further complicated problems. We'll start from this equation that we wrote down, but then we will introduce another variable where maybe another species is present there, and maybe they have a relation like a predator and a prey, and we'll write down equations for that, but we have not come at that point right now. We will deal about these 2 variable or 3 variable systems later, but this is how it works. So that was kind of giving you a flavor of the entire thing. Today what we are going to do is we will go and focus on the stability aspects once again, and we'll gradually move, take one step further towards the mathematical formulation of it. So by now, what you have already understood is that you know several ways to estimate the stability of the system. I guess all of you are confident enough that if I give you a point and if I give you an equation and ask you to figure out the fixed points and say that if it is stable or unstable, you can do that, right? Is everyone confident about that?
Yes.
Okay. So then let us take an equation, a simple equation, dx dt equal to x square. So please write down the equation dx dt equal to x square and try to solve it. I will also switch on my camera and do it along with it. Dx dt equal to x square.
Ma'am, it's parabola, but yeah, fixed point is 0, but
yeah, so it's a parabola, right? We all understand that.
Yeah.
It's a parabola, and where should it touch the x-axis? So this is my
0.
x, and this is my dx dt, which is my fx, right? We are taking our dx dt as my fx and plot it in y-axis, and it is going to touch it at 0. Very good. So we understand. So that this understanding the graphical nature of it is very important. That is like an inherent part of the subject that we are studying. So it will be something like this, right? Here is our fixed point, right? Now the question that I ask you is the stability of this fixed point. Can we conclude anything about that from here? So graphically we know that it depends on velocity, and you can do it in this way. Or you can also take the use of linear stability and figure out what is f prime x star, and from there you can tell me, can we figure out what the values are? It is not possible, right?
Both directions are right. Yeah, both directions.
So
right.
it is exactly, very good. So both directions are in the same direction because the entire curve is on the positive side, right? There is nothing in the negative side, so that it decreases anyway. So what happens is, if I shift this point a little bit to the right, you have a positive velocity, right? If you shift it in this side, you have a positive velocity, it will move away from this in one side. On the other side, it is also positive. So if you are going in this direction, you will again have an arrow in that direction only. So it seems that it is converging from one side and it is diverging from the other side, right? Similarly, if you do it in this way, like following the linear stability analysis, then you take fx, you figure out what is f prime x and put the value, and you see if it is greater than 0 or less than 0. But in this case, what do we have? 0, right?
0.
So it cannot be concluded, right? So what is exactly happening here? Here I am seeing something different than whatever we have seen so far, right? So here we are seeing a point. We said that we will fill up this circle as a black circle if it is a stable fixed point, and we will keep it a hollow circle if it is a unstable fixed point. We are seeing that this circle that I am seeing here at 0 is stable from one side and unstable from the other side, right? This kind of points we called half stable points. And they are very closely related to a phenomena which is called bifurcation. Okay, so let us just change our equation number 1, this dxt equal to x square, a little bit so that we can give a more clear idea about this phenomena of bifurcation that we are talking about. Okay, we are gradually moving towards a bit more complicated dynamics that can happen in the one variable systems. As I have already told you, there is only fixed points. There is nothing else in one variable systems. You cannot see oscillations or anything, but we can see something very important called bifurcations. So if I change this equation to a little bit different equation, dx dt equal to say 2 plus x square. Then what will be the scenario? If it is 2 plus x square, then this entire curve that we have here will shift up, right? And then it will not touch x-axis anyway. Is it clear? Similarly,
yes.
if I have an equation like dx dt is equal to minus 2 plus x square, then this curve will shift down. And instead of 1, I will have 2 fixed points. So I want you to understand this very well in a general sense. So the same equation that I have, okay? So in general form, if I write down this equation as, dx dt is equal to r plus x square, okay? Where r is a parameter, just like the parameter of growth rate or parameter of carrying capacity that we have considered in our previous example of this logistic growth. R is a certain parameter that describes the dynamics of the system. Okay. Then we see that the same system behaves in 3 different ways if I change R from negative to positive values continuously. So for R less than 0, I have a picture where the curve is shifted below and we clearly have one stable and one unstable fixed point. Here I have a stable fixed point and here I have an unstable fixed point. Similarly, if I have R greater than 0, then I have a curve which is shifted upwards and I have no fixed points in the system, right? There is no fixed point. And at R equal to 0, I get the scenario that I have discussed at the very beginning of the half stable fixed point, which is stable in one side and unstable on the other side. Okay. So here I have a typical example of bifurcation. We call this phenomena as bifurcation. So what will be the definition of bifurcation or bifurcation points? So the definition in general would be that several times it happens that in our dynamical systems, the behavior of the system is dependent on a certain parameter. Okay, dependence on parameters. So the entire picture of bifurcation points is based on dependence of parameters. If you have no parameter in the system, then we cannot talk about bifurcations there. If we have an equation where I have one or more parameters present in the system and the entire dynamics is dependent on that particular parameter, then at certain values of that particular parameter, it can happen that fixed points can be created, destroyed, or change their stability nature. Okay, it can be created just like it happened in R equal to 0, right? If you come from this side, it will seem to you that you are varying R from a positive value to a negative value continuously. It will seem to you that at R equal to 0, a fixed point is getting created, isn't it? Similarly, if your direction of experiment is just the other way around, it will seem to you that you had fixed points, but that got destroyed at r equal to 0. So bifurcation points are those values of that parameter concerned, that parameters that you are dealing with, for those values where you have a fixed point that is getting created, destroyed, or it can change the nature of its stability as well. That means it might happen that you have a positive, you had a stable fixed point and that is becoming unstable at a certain point. It is changing its nature. You had an unstable fixed point and it is becoming stable at a certain fixed point, at a certain value of the parameter. So this is the phenomena of bifurcation. Okay, the entire phenomena of getting a fixed point or losing a fixed point or changing the stability of a fixed point is called a bifurcation. And the value of the parameter at which it happens, here in our particular example, it is r equal to 0, that is called a bifurcation point. Okay, bifurcation point. So in this particular problem, r equal to 0 is our bifurcation point. So I want to stop here for a couple of minutes and let just clarify if you have any doubts so far. So what is your idea about whatever we are discussing right now? Do you have any confusion or any crazy questions you can ask? Because we are entering a very important part of our course and learning about a very important phenomena which is going to be with us for the rest of the course. Okay. So any doubts?
Well, ma'am, I'm little confused about the half stable point. So is it like in that point there is 50% probability of stability and 50% probability of instability? And if we wait some time after some time evolution, it will either get a stability
No.
or
No. It is not like that. It is not like that. Huh? Yeah, I understand your question. Let me just try to explain. First is that the half stable point that I have, it is not stable. That is for sure. Okay, that is just a flicker of a moment, a particular point of parameter. If it fluctuates a little bit, it will go either this way or that way. Okay, here it is like a very critical point, like the critical points or the melting points or the boiling points of phase transition. It is very much identifiable with that. Like suppose at melting point, can you say that it is in ice state or water state? You cannot, right? It is in both the states and it is not in both the states as well. There is no probability that it will become completely ice or completely water. There is 100% probability that you will have a mixed kind of a state. It is exactly similar to that. You can just borrow that idea of phase transition and map it here. Bifurcation points are in many aspects exactly similar to your phase transition and phase transition points. Okay, so and another thing is this, that about the word that you use probability, I need to highlight one more thing, that the entire dynamics that we are considering, there is no question of probability yet. We have not considered any question of probability yet because there is no fluctuation. So just like the first example, I guess you remember the sine theta example, sine x example, there we could certainly say that at which point you will start, then at which point you will end, right? There is no probability that there is a certain probability you will end up at this fixed point and there is a certain probability that you will end up at some other fixed point. No. So the dynamics that we are considering so far is completely deterministic. There is nothing probabilistic here. Okay. So the first part of this course that we are covering right now is entirely deterministic. So there is no question of probability as such, but I understand what you meant there. And my answer will be that you just identify it with a phase transition point, where a melting point or a boiling point, something like that is happening. It's exactly same thing is happening here. If you had a little bit of fluctuation in the parameter, if it is a little bit negative, you will have a scenario like this, where you have clearly one stable point and one unstable point. And if you have on the positive side, you will have no fixed points at all. Okay, does this answer your question?
Yes, ma'am, I have understood.
So I understand that this is a very critical idea, and if you have like any doubts regarding this, we can clarify this, because as I have said that as in the definition of bifurcation, I mentioned that fixed points get created, destroyed, or change their stability. I mean, the way they are stability, or the state of stability of the fixed points. So, depending on these things, we will learn about several different kind of bifurcations that can occur in one variable systems. Okay, so this is one example, and as we will proceed, you will get to know that the example that we are seeing here is called a very well-known kind of bifurcation, which is called saddle node bifurcation. Saddle node bifurcation. Okay. So in this way, we have different kinds of bifurcations present. So in saddle node, the characteristics feature is this, that you will have one stable and one unstable fixed point sitting, and they will collide into each other as soon as you reach the bifurcation point. From both sides, they will come like this, and they will collide into each other and vanish. None of them will be there. That is kind of a signature of saddle node bifurcation. Similarly, there are other bifurcation that we will learn about, which happens in the first order, one variable systems only, like transcritical bifurcation, and then there you will see that the changing of their, I mean, a stable point and an unstable point both will be there. At the bifurcation point, the stable one will become unstable, and the unstable one will become stable. Something like that will happen. Then there is a pitchfork bifurcation. Where there you will see that there was one fixed point, and suddenly there are two more. Like if there was one fixed point present at a point, then at the bifurcation point, suddenly we will have three fixed points present. Okay, so this way we will have different kinds of bifurcations. We will study them, and we will also study some forms, some basic forms that of the equations which can give rise to this kind of phenomenon. For example, the equation that we have just studied, r plus x square, is the normal form. We call them the normal form of saddle node bifurcation. So eventually what happens is, if you have any system where a saddle node bifurcation is present, then with appropriate transformation of variables, you can map that system to something like this, to a simple equation like this. Similarly, all the bifurcations that we will learn about, transcritical, pitchfork, and there is Hopf bifurcation as well. So all these four bifurcations we will learn about step by step, and we will see, we'll learn about their normal forms. We'll learn about some other systems as well, where there is the normal form is not there, but still we are getting bifurcation, and we'll learn how to change those equations with appropriate transformation to the normal form of the bifurcation that we are seeing. Okay. So at this point, I will give you one more example of the bifurcation that we are studying right now, that is saddle node, and I will try to strengthen the idea of saddle node bifurcation. Okay. So the example that I want you to consider now, and this might be a little bit critical, and you have to just use your head a little bit to solve this. So the equation that we are considering right now is getting a little bit tougher, and we will see that is there any bifurcation present in this system or not. So the equation we are considering is dx dt is equal to r minus x minus e to the power of minus x. Okay. So this is the equation. And I want to know that the question will be like in your exams or in any interview, the question will be, do you see any bifurcation present here? What kind of bifurcation do you see? Okay. So if I ask you about this system, then the first question will be, is there any fixed point in the system? Next question will be, is there any parameter dependence of that fixed point on the system? And then we will change the parameter and see that how the system evolves. Okay. So you can go ahead and do analyze the problem similarly as we did in the previous case. But in this one, I want to demonstrate one more method which will be more useful in this particular example. So here I have fx, that is your dx dt, that is the force field that I have, is equal to x minus e to the power minus, right? And if I want to have a fixed point, I need it to be 0, right? That means r minus x should be equal to e to the power minus x, right? R minus x should be equal to e to the power minus x. Fine. Can you guess in which way I am heading heading there? What we can simply do is we can plot both of these functions, and we can see that are they equal or are they not, depending on the value of r. Do you get the point that I'm saying?
It is a transcendental equation, right? Graph use करना पड़ेगा.
Graph use करना पड़ेगा, बिल्कुल. So we have to use graphs to understand the nature of the stable fixed points and also their stability. So r minus x is equal to e to the power minus x is kind of the solution that we are looking for, right? And we have full flexibility on the value of r. R can be anything, positive, negative, 0, whatever. Okay. So, batao, what will be the fix the critical point according to you? So let us talk about e to the power x first, e to the power minus x first. How should the graph look like? It will be a fall, right? Something like this, right? E to the power minus x. Am I moving too fast? Is it problematic for any of you? Please ask. Please ask if you are facing any trouble. No problem. You're learning a new subject. You can ask questions. Okay. And what kind of an equation will be r minus x? It's a straight line, right? It's a straight line that is falling, that has a negative slope. So it can be, the curve can be in 3 ways. One is like this, where both of them cut at 2 points. One could be like this, e to the power minus x, there is no parameter there. So we have separated out that part, and that part will remain same. But r minus x can change depending on the value of r. It can be like this, or it can be just like this without even interacting with e to the power minus x, or it can be tangential like this. Okay. Doubts, tell me. There should be some doubts. If you are like any problem you are facing, let me know.
R is a parameter.
R is a parameter. R is a free parameter, just like the previous case. Yes.
So basically, r minus x becomes a straight line. So it must pass through the origin. So how can you take the first and the second graph? I mean, third one is correct as far as I look at r minus x, but looking at the first 2 graphs where e power minus x is getting cut at 2 points, and in the second graph it is just touching, r minus x is just touching e power minus x. How can you
what is the value of e to the power minus x at 0, at x equal to 0?
Anything above 0 is 1. That's 1.
1,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So r will decide the intercept, and right, m is 1. M is 1. Y is equal to mx plus c. M is
Okay,
minus
okay,
1.
okay, okay, okay.
Right?
Okay,
You have
okay.
parallel
Yes,
set of lines, right? Depending on whatever the value of R is.
yes, 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 yes.
Yes,
Hello,
right?
hello, ma'am.
Tell me.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, then how can we define that which point is stable and which is not?
Yeah, that I am coming to. That I am coming to. But the point that I want to highlight here, that we can
Yeah,
have different.
that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine, right? You can have different values of R, and you can have set of parallel lines which either intersect the e to the power minus x curve at 2 points, or just do not interact with that, or it can just tangentially touch it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if that part is clear, the next part, that question that you asked, I want to give that as a home task to you. If this picture is clear, try to figure out that which of this is positive or stable or unstable. I am sure you can do that. You just put your head a little bit in and you can solve this problem. Just think about it, that which of them are stable or unstable. We know that the total velocity, it is positive or negative. Depending on that, we can conclude that it's a stable or unstable point. Use the same notion and try to figure out which one of these points are stable or unstable. This is definitely a half stable point, right? Because here the bifurcation is occurring. And the value of R at which the bifurcation will be occurring, that will be R equal to 1, right? Because the slope, as you said, that the value of e to the power minus 0 is 1. So exactly that value should be here. So R should be equal to 1 at this point. These two are either on the higher side or on the lower side of it. So what I need you to do is to solve this problem completely, just like we did the previous case, right? So figure it out, which one was stable, which one was unstable, and see that how R was changing and how it collided into each other and they vanished into a saddle node bifurcation. Okay. So this is kind of a task for you. Do it. I hope this will be a good exercise. Okay, and you will get a clear idea of what saddle node bifurcation is. We'll talk more detail about this particular bifurcation, because this is very important and very frequently occurring around us all over the nature. Even the environment shift that we have, the financial market crashes that we have, all are nothing but this. In several cases, they could be very well modeled, starting from the disappearance of a particular species, extinct species, and starting from your market crashes, and there are several phenomena that you can actually model using this bifurcation. This is a very prevalent kind of a bifurcation that we see all around the several different application areas. So get a flavor of it, try to solve this problem. We'll start from this point only in the next class. We'll talk about normal form, that how we can change this particular equation. I said that any equation that will have a saddle node bifurcation can some way or other brought back to the normal form, and the normal form for saddle node bifurcation is just the previous equation that we solved. That is the simplest equation that can give rise to saddle node bifurcation. We'll discuss that, how you can change this into that, and we'll have a good exercise based on this bifurcation. Okay, so I hope there are no more doubts. Then I can stop here for today. If you have any questions, you can ask.